Look, I'm 100% aware that this video is rushed. Currently in the Baki manga, certain events involving Jack might support this, what is going to be discussed in this video, but look, the manga is kind of on a break. Or I don't know. It's been 3 or 4 weeks without a new chapter, and I don't know why. If any of you know for sure, please let me know in the comments. I guess Itagaki must be on vacation or something, but damn, what a time to take a break. That guy, huh? He couldn't have paused before the chapter about the burly bear discovering his inner woman with Yujiro. Doesn't he have to take a break right when Jack Hammond returns? Oh well, Itagaki God, it's just that, Itagaki God, you have to love him just the way he is. I guess a lot fewer people than usual will watch this video, and that's normal. We're discussing a specific character who likely wouldn't appear in a top 10, 20, or 30 popularity ranking. In Baki, this guy wouldn't even show up. Plus, not everyone is up to date with the manga. And, well, you know how it is. But that's okay, because what I'm basically trying to say with this video is that I ended up being wrong about Motobe, and I definitely didn't see Itagaki's plans coming, even though maybe they could have been obvious to someone else. If this isn't the first video of mine about this work that you've seen, you probably already know that I take a jab at Motobe whenever I can. I think he's a terrible character who ruined Jack and ruined what could have been the best fight in the story. And I'll explain further. I have a video I made about 2 or 3 months ago where I go off and totally rant about Motobe. A full 10 minutes explaining how much I hate this guy and why. But after what happened in the last chapters of the manga, I've been able to reflect and, well, here we are. It's smart to change your mind, unless Itagaki ruins things in the next chapters, of course. Today, I must say that Motobe isn't just a good person who always tries to help others, but also he has led Jack down a path that even his own father, the ogre, wasn't able to guide him on. First, I want to talk about why I used to hate this character, the root of it all, and also why I was wrong. To begin with, I don't like Motobe much. This remains true, even though I no longer see him as bad or feel disgusted by him. That doesn't mean this cannelloni cemetery is in my top 10, not at all. The guy just became totally irrelevant to me. Throughout the series, up until the Musashi Miyamoto saga, this chubby guy gained a lot of prominence. Before this, like I said, he was just another character. He hyped himself up a bit at the beginning, but then turned out not to be that strong. But it turned out he never fights unarmed. You had to see him in a weapons fight. The only good scene was when he beat up Yanagi the Goblin. I really disliked that poisonous guy. Along with Sikorsky, he was the prisoner I liked least, and I think most people felt the same. The point is, when Motobe took the spotlight, he just seemed like a mess who only brought problems to the story. This was because Baki is a fighting manga, and Motobe spent the whole Musashi arc trying to stop people from fighting the samurai. As a Baki and anime fistfight fan, my judgment was totally clouded. I couldn't stop thinking Motobe was just getting in the way and not letting me enjoy the epic battles with the legendary samurai, because he was an unbearable Ned Flanders who was afraid that people would get hurt or something worse in battle. Surprisingly, I never paused to consider the most obvious thing. And that's that Motobe has saved the lives of several characters, including my dear Jack Hanma. It was extremely childish of me not to realize that if Motobe hadn't stopped Jack, trying to do him as little harm as possible. Definitely not. No, I'm 100% sure that Jack would have ended up like Retsu. Kaio Motobe saved Jack from himself, and I wasn't able to see it. Jack was here at his lowest. He was completely out of his mind and was only focused on stretching his body further and causing himself more physical harm. What Jack does to gain more power. As a Jack fan, I wanted to see him fight Musashi. I thought it would be epic, but I never considered that if Jack had faced Musashi, he wouldn't be alive. I only focused on the way Motobe stopped Jack. He wasn't humiliating him, he was just holding him back. Motobe had no intention or interest in fighting Jack, he just wanted to save his life. I'm surprised at how blind I was. And the best part of all, and what really led me to make this video, seeing the new Jack Hanma showed me he's truly reformed. He understood that he couldn't be as strong as he wanted by focusing only on brute strength. He realized that he shouldn't just get stronger to fight, but that he needed to learn how to fight. Jack's confrontation with Motobe taught him valuable lessons, inspiring him to develop his own biting-based martial art. Motobe made Jack think for the first time in ages, and it excites me a lot because in the current Jack, I can see the Jack from the Underground Tournament, this Jack and the first one we were introduced to. They give me the same energy. It's still too soon to talk, but I hope everything goes well with Jack and I can make one for him. A sequel to my favorite video in the entire history of my channel, The Rise and Fall of Jack Hanma. I just hope that if Jack faces his opponent, they don't pull some cheap plot twist, and while Jack has some advantage, his opponent says something like,
"Did I prepare this secret technique just for you? I haven't used it on anyone else."
Don't worry, it's not a plot device. Sumo is just really powerful.
I hope he doesn't pull a new technique out of nowhere or something like that. Making Jack lose in such a sad way would be really unpleasant. I'm not asking for Jack to win, but at least don't make everything so obvious. I'm a man who likes to dream, so I believe in you, Itagaki. Jack, he looks much bigger, but not because he's taller, but because he's focused on strengthening his muscles and his jaw. He looks healthy, balanced, and powerful, more like his father, yet still retains his own essence. Wouldn't it be something if he actually stopped using chemicals to boost his performance? But anyway, like I said before, dreaming is free. As for Motobe, none of this would have been possible without him. Definitely, I may not like this man. He might make me cringe and I might find him boring, but it's undeniable that he has good intentions. He knew about the danger of the legendary samurai and didn't want his friends to die at Musashi's hands like Red Sakai did. And it almost happened to the indestructible Kaoru Hanayama when he interrupted the almost fight between Musashi and Yujiro. Well, look, what do you want me to say? For some reason, Motobe thought that Yujiro was in danger, although I think he really overdid it here. I understand that since their company, they're not even close to being rivals. And besides, they're not really bad guys. Yujiro, unlike others, isn't friends with anyone. He's always been more of a problem than even Musashi. The ogre is a guy who has never had anyone who could truly match him in a fight. He's a monster who always reappears with 10 or 100 times more strength whenever someone seems to catch up to him. They say Baki stood up to him in Sonofogger, but how can Yujiro treat Sukune like a child? If he can treat Sukune like a rag, can he do the same to Baki? Yujiro either never gives his all or can quickly boost his strength. I'm not sure. The thing is, I'm sure Musashi couldn't kill the ogre just like that. In fact, from my point of view, Yujiro could defeat the legendary samurai. Motobe disagreed and risked himself to save him. I know Motobe didn't want anyone to die, but for God's sake, Yujiro shouldn't even be considered human. I think this time, he shouldn't have intervened. Yujiro and Musashi both live for combat. This remains the only Motobe moment that doesn't convince me, and I did feel like it was a device used by Itagaki as an excuse. This way, the two wouldn't fight, leaving the question of which is strongest unanswered forever. Anyway, Motobe isn't a bad character, nor a bad guy in the story. I was blinded by the fact that he took down Jack so easily and left him so humiliated, without realizing that the one who had really destroyed his image and himself was Jack himself, with his erratic actions, not because of anyone else. Thank you, Motobe, for that. For guiding Jack onto a path that finally seems to be the right one for him. For being brave enough to face the ogre instead of letting him fight Miyamoto. You'll never be one of my favorites. Unless Jack has stopped using performance-enhancing candies and his fight with Sukune is epic, but I can tell you that you did very well and that I was wrong about you. Anyway, I hope you like this video, short but effective. Honestly, there's nothing else to add, so keep waiting for more Baki videos. They're much more interesting very, very soon. I'm saying goodbye for now. I need to pray to Jesus Christ for a new manga chapter. Bye. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe and follow me on Twitter and Twitch, where I stream nearly daily. Also, don't forget to follow me on my secondary channel, Belsatilter, where I upload videos reacting to anime or reading manga that I've watched or read live. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.